Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're not listening to the mind of that Terry Smooth. Flight boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about the Book of Enoch, but how to understand it, because everybody got a misperception of this shit. So I'm gonna help people clearly understand it as Archangel Uriel. You see what I'm saying? So check this out. First and foremost, this is what you need to understand. From your perspective, all space just look like all space as in one. But once you get elevated as a being and do as a spirit, you do your expansion and contraction through the levels of realms of realities, you will start to understand that there's space within space, right? So before we even break this down, this is what all religious people need to understand too. Anytime you hear something referring to the light or God, that's Lucifer. You need to understand that. All your stories and things of that nature, you're reading it wrong. All of it is Lucifer. Lucifer is the light bringer. So anything that brings a light, that's Lucifer. Now, the light could be law, language, ideas, concept, and imagination, dream, but all thing under this realm of reality, under these creation of how you think of what light is, that's Lucifer. Remind you, that's just this realm of realities. There's many different realms of realities. That's what you really truly need to understand. Now, and all of them doesn't depend on light or your aspect of how you are looking at light or have you been taught and told. So that's what you need to understand also. Now, I want people to listen to this. Listen to this if you think I don't know what I'm talking about. Listen to this. Listen to this. Now, this is a faithful Christian right here just telling you the word, but they're blinded by understanding it. So listen.
He has delivered us from the power of darkness and conveyed us into the kingdom of the Son of his love, in whom we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created, that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through him and for him.
All right. So all Christians would agree with that, right? But what y'all fail to realize is it's not talking about God. It's talking about Lucifer. Listen.
Heavens and the earth.
Listen.
He has delivered us from the power of darkness and conveyed us into the kingdom of the Son of his love.
He from darkness. So if something delivered you from the power of darkness, it was the light, right? Now who's the light Who's the light barrier? Now let's go deeper.
In whom we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins.
You got redemption through his blood.
He is the image of the invisible God.
He is the image of the invisible God.
The firstborn over all creation.
The firstborn over all creation, the first star, first light, whatever you want to call it, the light barrier.
For by him all things were created.
For by him all things was created. Not God, by him, the firstborn. Y'all listening, right? I hope y'all Christians ain't that dumb.
That are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible.
He ruled everything visible and invisible on earth.
Whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created through him and for him.
All things was created through him and for him. Where did you Christians get lost into thinking that they was talking about God, when it just clearly told you? So listen, and any Bible, and we talking about the Book of Enoch right now. Anytime you hear about somebody talking about be fruitful, multiply, more trees, more fruits, these are just different forms of sustainment. So it's basically describing hell, and 9 times out of 10 it has a Lord over that hell that wants you to praise it and worship it. And 9 times out of 10, when shit don't agree with the imagination of that Lord or spirit, it will replenish the motherfucking world and destroy any motherfucking oppressor and wash that whole land over and start over. Anything that don't match its imagination. And y'all, this is the first part of being lost into thinking you're worshiping the overall God. You're just worshiping one specific spirit. Now, we're going to go into deeper. Let's talk about the Book of Enoch. Now, y'all know I don't have to even use this shit to even talk about it, right? But I want to give you a clear understanding. I had to do that. So when you hear, even when y'all hear things like Michael Michael going to war with Lucifer, right? And it said then God forced Michael to slaughter him or something like that. Talk about himself, Lucifer. It's talking about himself. It's not talking about God told Michael to do something. It's telling you the story that God told Michael what to do to him. Do you get it? Now, he forced Michael to do that based upon his actions. Now let's break this down. All right. Now, when we talk about the Book of Enoch, right? This is what you need to understand. Like I said, everything is space within space, right? So when you kind of get in the concept of what I'm trying to get at, and I just broke down Lucifer, highest star or the highest space in this realm, just in this realm that we in, it control all these lights. What you need to understand is the when we talk about the pack of angels that fell with Lucifer or whatever like that, and things of that nature, we're talking about the council of the Gregory. They made a pact with each other. It was like a Gregory, what's the word? Yeah, Gregory pact, right? But what y'all fail to realize is this is nothing more, nothing less but the Gregorian calendar. So the Gregorian calendar is breaking down each space within space. You see what I'm saying? This is how you start to get the concept of understanding that all religions and all Bibles is about the stars, and the stars is astrology, which is nothing more, nothing less is about the body that we are in, or just speaking about the body in general and how we understand the body in the world that we are in. You know what I'm saying? So there's many different ways how we can understand it: science, astrology, clocks, metaphysics, but it's truly just what I'm trying to kick to y'all. You see what I'm saying? I'm lifting the veil for y'all. So when you talk about the Gregory Council, that's the group of pact that they made as these set of the fallen angels, right? That's nothing more, nothing less but what you see today as the Gregorian calendar. And those group of spirits is the ones that constructed the Gregorian calendar, right? So when we say now when we talk about the now when they came down with this pact, right? They came down and they called it Mount Hermon. Right now, they'll tell you that they called it Mount Hermon because of the agreement that they made. Right, the pact that they made was to go into the daughters of men. Now, when you think about they called it Mount Hermon, that is not the reason why they called it Mount Hermon. What you need to understand is this is not a place. It is a place, but not how y'all see it. What it's basically talking about is that if you're into hermetics, when you look at a hermetic geometric thing, hermetics, you're looking at the location of each spirit, basically, and them sitting in their seats, setting up a pact. So even when you look at this is how government systems set up their arrangement when they go have meetings and things of that nature, which I'll be seeing on the news and shit like that. So if you're into any form of hermetics, don't get too lost into that because it is all correlated to the same thing. Now, the hermetics is basically the seats and the positions of these beings. So it is a place. That's not how y'all looking at it. It's in the spirit realm. When you start to create shape and form and create maps and things of that nature, you can start to align and start to access and pinpoint each of these spaces. And each of these spaces is relative to other spaces. Each space has a vortex. We know the spirit is the space. So each space, each spirit has its own idea. And when they align with each other, they all got their own idea, but they all have a pact. So they all got their own idea about this one Pacific pact. So it creates an alignment. So when we talk about Mount Hermon, what they call it as the fallen angels, that's what y'all would perceive today as hermetics. So anybody who's into hermetics or masons who have created hermetics and things of that nature, this is they're basically trying to show you the outlining of the positions of these spirits, of these angels. See what I'm saying? So these angels, it's trying to show you a hierarchy of how these angels rule you. But I'm explaining to you how you are these things. So the moment you get into these things, you get into government, you get into police work, you get into wanting to be a celebrity, you get into wanting to be an entertainer, whatever you're doing, the Pacific energy that is backed and supported by that, you came from that, or that's you. You see what I'm saying? Now, all right, when we talk about the daughters of men, this is what you need to understand. When they say the daughters of men, this has nothing to do with the physical traits of male and female, how y'all see it. As a human right now, y'all in so many densities that y'all actually are male and females. But at this time right now, the daughters of men, man is mankind. A kind is a time frame, an experience, a movement through space, an alignment. When a group of stars have a certain alignment and it creates one being. So when you get the fallen angels and then you hear the concepts of they made a pact with each other, and the pack, how to understand that pack is understanding the Gregorian calendar, because it was a Gregory, whatever how you say it. And then to know their positions is understanding hermetics. So understanding hermetics, you can understand each of these people's positions. So when you look at the Book of Enoch and you hear each of these demons' names, right, you get lost in that and be like, oh, that's bullshit. But you probably the same person who into hermetics. It's the same shit. Everything is the same shit, just in different shapes and forms, different civilizations. That's what y'all need to understand. Holidays, it don't matter what the holiday is called. That it's gonna be some type of energy, enormous energy around that time period of the year, regardless. Now you might got some higher intellectual spirits that's here vibrating higher than others that create some shit and they get the praise for the shit. So they create shit and they want to call it Christmas. They create shit. You know what I'm saying? These are spirits who are already into this shit and they know who they are. Do you get it? That's why I say when holidays come around, create your own shit to celebrate in that energy. Because the energy is out here for us all to access. It's just you got some people who know how to do it harder than others. Period. But yeah, when we talk about the daughters of men has nothing to do with the male physical traits. The daughter, like when we say mankind, that's a time, a group of alignments coming together. Now, when you look at the Hermetics, they created man. They created that flesh form beneath the higher, because these group of angels was like the eighth hierarchy, was like the eighth level. So for the most part, they created the level lower to that. So when you hear things like the giants and the Nephilim, and they start to eat flesh, they start to go against man and eat flesh and start to you know what I'm saying, drink the blood and shit. That's a lot of y'all spirits is still in that world, still in that realm of reality. Y'all still that shit. Like a lot of y'all, like Christians or religious people, what y'all think y'all doing when y'all drinking the blood and eating the flesh of the spirit that then died from this realm and went to another realm and forced y'all to worship it in this realm still? Would you think that's a demon? You are the Nephilim. You are eating the flesh. You are cooking every day. You are eating food. You are drinking the blood every first Sunday. What the fuck is you talking about? Like, but you want to watch this right now and say, I'm into some shit. You know what I'm saying? You into this? Listen, oh my goodness. But look, check this out. The daughters of men, right, is within mankind. So they created man. Man is man and woman. It's mankind. So when they say the daughter of men, they mean the creation of men. The creation of men is what the feminine nature that comes from the physical alignment of lights. So anytime we talk about going within, that's your yin realm, your internal realm. That's your feminine natures. When you see a guy who's super masculine, but he too much in his emotions and feelings, what do a chick say? You in your feelings. You must be feminine. You know what I'm saying? So he's tapping into his feminine nature. Now, that's the daughter of men. So when you hear any concept about a higher being, a higher spirit, or a fallen angel going into the daughters of men, it means it's like they're going in their inner realm. So it could be through a mind concept, an idea, and see, as spirits, we're not supposed to intervene like that. But these spirits made a pact to intervene. You know what I'm saying? But we're not supposed to intervene with and awaken this flesh. So that's what they did. They awakened. They went into something that was sleep, that was created, which is like cells, all the shit that was created as man. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't how y'all looking at it yet. They went into it and created thought forms and ideas. That's the first egg cell. So that's the first womb. As a spirit, when you go into that, you awaken this flesh, and this flesh have ideas now, concepts, and then what's in that carry out the duties and obligations of that idea and concept. That's going into the daughters of men. So when you see men and women knowing about astrology, or knowing about this, knowing about that, knowing about this, you are that spirit in this daughter of men. Do you get it? Do you understand? So when I say Archangel Uriel, I don't even have to get into my story of the Book of Enoch. Y'all can just go to all my real life videos in reality, and I'm basically breaking into details whatever I told Enoch. You see what I'm saying to y'all in y'all kind of way, because this is me down here on this form. Do you get it? You see what I'm saying? So you could claim not to be this all you want, But if you a preacher, if you into government, if you the biggest celebrity, if you the highest elite, when we think about things like Shemyaza and Samuel and Azazel and shit like that, a lot of these motherfuckers in the elites are them. Do y'all get it? They are them. When y'all say, oh, these niggas doing rituals and they putting shit on their face, no, they being themselves. Do y'all get it? That's why they got more power than you, because they know themselves. That's it. That's all. Any other thing y'all attaching to it, you need to get with the program and start doing this shit for yourself. Instead of being scared of the Pentagon and you walking into buildings and working a job every day in the building structure and land of a Pentagon that somebody then did it on a higher level than you and draining you, once you go somewhere and do that shit yourself and create your own system. Duh. You see what I'm saying? This is a free choice, free world, free government, free land, free space, free choice. God, the overall parameter, don't give you free choice, give you free will. It don't give you no type of idea and emotion that you gotta kind of feel, and then now you have to feel fear if you don't carry out that duty and obligation. No, it's supposed to be your fucking choice. That's how God works. So whatever God making you feel like you in fear because you this is the thing you need to do and whatever like that. I don't even know how to talk like that. But for the most part, that's what daughters of men is. Anytime your yin realm. So anytime you go inside, you have a thought, imagination, whatever like that, that's your feminine nature, right? So when you have some outside influence fucking with your insides, you got some outside person, place, or thing or spirit dictating how you feel, dictating how you think, right? You done let a spirit play with your daughter. You are the daughter. You see what I'm saying? So now, and you are the motherfucking giants. So that's how you clearly understand the Book of Enoch. So basically, when we talk about me showing Enoch and the angels and shit like that, y'all probably thinking like, well, if you just said every time you hear a Bible refer to God as Lucifer, then Lucifer, they said God told you to go tell. See, look, this is why they took me out of New King James Bibles and all that shit. They try to make me not exist and shit like that because I don't listen. I'm Uriel. And then what y'all fail to realize also too, in the realm I'm in, you gotta think about it. It's more neutral. See, y'all more into separation. Y'all more into hell. So y'all more scattered. So y'all more gotta find ways to come back together to understand and come together as one source. So y'all all can rise as one consciousness. And in the bigger life, where it's the same thing, a multitude, but just less multitude. It ain't billions, it's millions. Then it go less and less and less till you become one with the whole top of the pyramid. But see, y'all would probably look at it like, well, God was telling you things and you saying that's. So look, from my perspective, like sometimes we deciphering more than what y'all deciphering. So a lot of times we listen, this motherfucker is the image. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we gotta sit back and think like, oh, is this nigga telling the truth? Did God tell him to tell us to do this or not? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we gotta decipher that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm real. You gotta be real with it. If you're a religious person right now, you so beneath the scale, and you saying, oh, see what he's saying right now, he's saying he a Luciferian. You don't even understand the term Lucifer or Luciferian, or you don't even understand the concept or how I'm even talking about it to even say it like that. So this video ain't even for people like you. You know what I'm saying? You are following a demon. So anything outside of you is a demon. Like that spirit that taught you so much other shit that anything outside of you is a motherfucking demon. But for the most part, I'm talking about actual energies, the actual space of these things. Lucifer don't even actually exist. See, look, when you talk about rituals and when we say existence, that means realms of realities. Lucifer don't exist in this realm of reality, but it do because of all the shit that this motherfucker been creating here. So he exists through y'all light. Y'all egos and shit like that. That's why you a religious person right now. You got an ego to feel the need to probably leave me a comment right now on what the fuck I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? You are deeply lost with it. But, and wicked. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm trying to get you to understand energy signatures in the hierarchy of things, that energy signature has a lot of power, and it can blind a lot. So I don't even want people to get into the lost concepts of what y'all be hearing now, this new shit that y'all starting to hear of the black sun, which it ain't no new shit or whatever like that. But the black sun, that ain't nothing but somebody trying to pinpoint the actual spirit that's traveling that's controlling that light. Like I told y'all, everything is a shape and form. The spirit is no shape and form. Don't give no spirit, no title, no analogy, no word. The spirit don't become shit. You know what I'm saying? The spirit just is. The spirit is the creator. It creates shit. It creates shit to go into. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about the daughters of men, it start off as mental ideas and concepts. It's not even fluid yet the way you look at fluid in this realm. It's fluid on a higher realm. And that realm is not even perceived as that way. That's just the best way we can perceive that energy down here. So we give it a word like fluid, or we give it a meaning or reasoning. That's this because from our perspective, well, not my perspective, but from y'all perspective, not from me and my soul group, but y'all people who ain't with the soul group, this is y'all catching perceptions from so many different layers and other beings and other perceptions that you're not understanding the whole general concept of things. So, I'm gonna close this motherfucking video off and shit though. But Flight Boss, bitch, yeah, I was gonna go motherfucking live yesterday. I couldn't even man, I don't know, man. I think the 4th of July, I think I drunk too much fucking fluids or some shit like that. But I'm about to be lit today. I'm gonna go live a lot early, a lot more early, which I don't really like to do because there's a lot of sunlight on the land, so which means there's a lot of consciousness that I might end up getting into. Like I just got doing videos early like this right now, blocked a lot of shit I really wanted to say. You know what I'm saying? Should be hating, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it travels through a lot of different shapes and forms. The Lucifer shit go motherfucking deep. That's what y'all need to understand. And me as Archangel Uriel, I'm here to let y'all know to be aware of this shit. I'm helping you be aware of this shit. I'm not telling you. I'm telling you, you are these motherfucking things. And if you don't know who you are, 9 times out of 10, you following one of these things. And putting all your trust and faith into that thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can look at a religious person right now and have all the problems in the world, and the first thing they say is just put it in God's hands. And they don't even know who hands they putting it in. And then they tell you just gotta trust. And look at you, stupid, if you looking at them stupid. And it's like you just have to look at their spirit like this is a lost spirit. A spirit that don't know themselves, so they just put themselves into any type of hands, as long as it sound good, got a good word to it and things of that nature. And these motherfuckers, fallen angels, they did all that shit. They control the hermetics, they control all this shit. So anything that you're into, they govern all that shit. The fallen angel, you are them, because you're carrying out what you created. You created the Hermetic system. You created the Gregorian calendar. You created the religion. So you're just following the spiritual groups that you roll with. Now, you could say you're not that and follow one that's still here, or follow one that done passed on from this realm of reality and doing the same thing in another realm of reality, trying to reach multitude of eggs. But you have to understand that's the concept. You have to set aside the emotional attachment these demons have done to you, because that's the only way look, God don't intervene in that way. So if you're getting emotionally attacked and you're getting forced to do things, and if you start to feel like you don't do it, you're going to be emotionally in turmoil. That's a demon drinking your blood, your esoteric blood, though. You see what I'm saying? It's drinking your spirit. And anytime that spirit is not around, you're going to feel loss of life. You're going to feel lack. And you're going to feel the need to do those sigils, rituals, those spells, those church programs or whatever like that in order to fulfill yourself again. But all you're doing is stand up under their authority, repeating, coming into another vessel and keep doing the same thing until you end up going into a life that's so harsh and so hellish till you just end up saying, fuck all that shit, and I want to get up out of that motherfucking pattern. You see what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. I don't give a fuck what emotional attachment you got to your spirit you following. That's what all spirits do. They all beautiful. You think a spirit gonna come to you ugly? You think your small humanistic ass mind knows something I don't? You think your small humanistic ass mind knows something Lucifer don't? These fallen angels don't? You think they don't know how to come to you in your way, in your kind of way, the best way you can understand it? You got the game fucked up. You better learn something about yourself so you can know what you following, what space you are in. Therefore, your ass won't be blind. So next time when you looking at whoever y'all calling, Jesus, Muhammad, Tatso, Hasusu, you know what I'm saying? Kasaki, all these motherfuckers. Look, you need to go look at their background. You know, look at their family. Look at where they going. You know what I'm saying? And you might just realize you got more power than these motherfuckers. God damn it, Flight Boss Eric.